Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about a topic that's as old as civilization, maybe even older if we believe certain cave art theories. This will be a brief look into the history of prostitution. I should mention that this is a mature topic, so if you're younger, it might be better to return to this video when you're older. Prostitution, often called the world's oldest profession, has been around for thousands of years. It's connected to almost every culture and time period you can think of. It has influenced laws, societies, and art. We start in ancient Mesopotamia, one of the oldest civilizations we know of. Records, including the Code of Hammurabi, written around 1750 BC, show detailed laws about prostitution and the rights of sex workers and their children. Many scholars have studied Sumerian and Akkadian texts that mention prostitution as a common part of life. Some evidence points to the practice occurring in temples, where a woman served as a holy companion to worshippers as part of a religious ritual. The Greek historian Herodotus wrote about such customs in Babylon, though modern historians debate how widespread they really were. Because Mesopotamia had different groups, treatment of prostitutes varied from city to city. This set the foundation for courtesans and escorts as a recognized social practice. Moving on to ancient Egypt, known for mummies, huge architecture, and a healthy cat obsession. We don't have a specific manual describing it, but tomb paintings suggest that some women acted as both entertainers and escorts. The Turin erotic papyrus, dated to the 20th dynasty, includes very graphic illustrations showing that sexuality was openly portrayed in Egyptian art. Meanwhile, in early China, records from the Zhou and Han dynasties mention escorts, also known as courtesans, who were educated in music and poetry. They performed for imperial courts and could hold influence over powerful figures. Bon Zhao, a famous female Confucian scholar, wrote about women's roles at court, indirectly hinting that entertainment and companionship existed as a formal practice. Ancient Greece, home of democracy and philosophy, also had regulated prostitution. Cities enforced laws, like those created by Solon in Athens, and even taxed workers. There were different classes of workers, with the hetaeras at the top. They were known for education, charm, and debate skills. One famous hetaira was Aspasia, partner of the statesman Pericles, who was said to converse with notable philosophers. In Rome, prostitution was part of everyday life. The Romans had laws, taxes, and designated areas for their work. In Pompeii, archaeologists uncovered luminaires, their equivalent of brothels, decorated with explicit frescoes. The Latin word luminaire comes from lupa, meaning she-wolf. Researchers have cataloged over 100 graffiti messages on these walls, many praising certain workers or poking fun at clients. These Roman ladies were supposed to register with the state and pay taxes. Higher class courtesans sometimes interacted with senators and wealthy citizens. Although society placed workers at a lower status, they contributed to the local economy. Writers from the time even included references to the practice in their poems. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Europe entered the Middle Ages. Christianity spread widely, and the church often called the practice a necessary evil. Thinkers like St. Augustine argued that removing it might cause even worse problems in society. Some cities, such as London, Paris, and Hamburg, licensed brothels. In England, these were sometimes called stews. Documents, like the regulations of the stew houses in Southwark, 15th century, set out rules for both workers and clients. The Catholic Church's stance varied, allowing it in certain areas, but also punishing those seen as breaking moral standards. Yet these businesses stayed active, especially around ports and trading hubs filled with travelers. During the Renaissance, Europe saw tremendous growth in art and science. In Venice, courtesans were known not just for sexual services, but also for their fashion sense, intelligence, and social grace. Some even inspired artists like Titian. During the 16 and 1700s, the practice became more visible in major cities like Paris and London. In London, Covent Garden had a notorious reputation for lively taverns and brothels. The demi-mondaine scene in 1800s France referred to women supported by wealthy lovers. Writers like Alexandre Dumas wrote about these figures in novels. As cities grew, governments tried to shut down brothels or relocate them. In Britain, the Contagious Diseases Acts, starting in 1864, gave authorities the right to force medical exams on women suspected of this work, aiming to protect soldiers from infection. This caused a big backlash from early feminists like Josephine Butler, who argued such laws targeted women unfairly. In the 1900s, more countries enacted laws controlling this business. Concerns led to international agreements. These rules aimed to stop forced or exploitative sex work, although they often lumped all prostitution under the same banner. The Roaring Twenties brought speakeasies, jazz, and a looser attitude about social norms, though not everyone agreed with these changes. In Europe, legendary venues like the Moulin Rouge in Paris were famous for music and dance, with rumors of paid companionship on the side. By the mid-1900s, the business became linked to women's rights, sexual freedom, and personal choice. Amsterdam's red light district and the legal brothels in parts of Nevada showed how different regions responded. Studies from local health departments in Amsterdam show that regular checkups and licensing can reduce the spread of disease and improve safety for workers. In many other parts of the world, the business remains illegal and only partly regulated. Because of this, the trade often goes underground, raising health risks and limiting legal protection for workers. Organizations like Amnesty International and the World Health Organization have published reports suggesting that decriminalization can protect human rights and lower the rate of violent crimes against workers. Yet critics argue that legalization might allow exploitative practices to flourish. Human trafficking is also a major worry. Whether you think it needs new rules, total elimination, or full acceptance, understanding its history can guide how we discuss and handle prostitution today. Criticized by some and sustained by others for thousands of years.